What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Smiths. And indeed, I'd like to start by giving a big shout out to friend and champion of the channel, Seb. Sent this over after I reacted to another tune from The Queen is Dead, and someone asked, have you reacted to, I think maybe it was Mark, but that How Soon Is Now, and I hadn't reacted to it yet, so Seb stepped in, sent that over, because apparently it's not a proper album track, which I didn't realize. But here's the thing, I actually know this tune longer than any other Smiths tune. I mentioned before, about 20 years ago, I dated a woman who was very into the Smiths, and so through her, I ended up hearing a number of their songs. Now, as it turns out, not so many from the first couple albums, only like one or two, I think, from the second album, which is to say, apparently, most of the tunes that she enjoyed and that she used to listen to and that I, through that relationship, ended up hearing a number of times, apparently they're later in the Smiths catalog or short life history, and indeed, one of them that I enjoy perhaps as much as any other is coming up on The Queen is Dead, which is to say Big Mouth Strikes Again. I know that tune, I know that tune pretty well. But the reality is, I actually heard How Soon Is Now before that relationship. I think I heard it when I was like a teenager in the 90s, maybe in a movie or something, I'm not sure where, but it's definitely a song that later when I was in that relationship and she played that song, I was like, oh dude, I know this song, I heard this before. So it's definitely a song that goes back for me. Now, having said that, I haven't listened to it in years, so as we go to listen to it, the only part that really comes back to me is the sort of, distorted kind of opening, and that sort of, I don't know, it's not like a vocal, but I don't know, it's like maybe it's the guitar, but it has this really sort of like psychedelic kind of quality to it. And then I can think of that line just like everybody else does. But I can't think of, most of the building blocks of the song. So it's a testament to how long it's been since I've heard it. So in any case, big shout out to all the people who've been going with me on the Smiths reaction, which, we're getting a bit into the third album now. So it feels like we are traveling a bit of a distance. And I know compared to some of the other deep dives I'm doing, there's not as much distance to go. So... and indeed, someone pointed out that, they enjoyed the solo Morrissey stuff, but they were saying that, like, maybe the production on his solo stuff isn't as good as the Smiths from this era. And I gotta say, only a few tracks in, the production on this album is crazy. Like, I can really hear, like, a step up and, like, a more, like, dense, like, well sort of constructed sound. Not that their earlier songs weren't well constructed, but again, it really sounds like we've gone up to another level on this album. So, or on the album The Queen is Dead. Nevertheless, we're now gonna, I think, hop back a little bit because I believe How Soon Is Now came out before The Queen is Dead, according to what people had said. So, in any case, I don't really remember much about the lyrics other than that one line, so let's just get it. This is the Smiths, How Soon Is Now, which I assume, given the fact that it came out before The Queen is Dead, maybe it's 1985, so let me know if I'm wrong there, but here we go, the Smiths, How Soon Is Now.
I'm the sun, I'm the air, all the shyness that was criminally vulgar. I'm the sun, nothing in particular. Shut your mouth, how can you say I go about things the wrong way? I am human and I need you to belong.
That line comes back.
Just like everybody else does.
The first part of it came back in the moment. But he's right. We're social, emotional creatures. It's in our biological nature.
I'm the sun, I'm the air, all the shyness that is criminally vulgar. I'm the sun, nothing in particular. Shut your mouth, how can you say I go about things the wrong way? I am human
subject matter. This one is really like heavy.
There's a club if you'd like to go. You could meet somebody who really loves you. So you go and you stand on your own, and you leave on your own, and you go home and you cry and you want to die.
There's a little. The percussion, the guitar work, the synth work. I don't even know everything that I'm hearing, like the origin of it.
You say it's gonna happen now. What exactly do you mean? See, I've already waited too long, and all my hope is gone.
Those little twitches. But he said, I know my hope is gone. It feels like we're waiting for something else. But I missed the line before it, so. I was wondering, is that it,
You shut your mouth, how can you say I go about things the wrong way? I am human and I need to be loved, just like everybody else
it's every bit the tune I remembered it better. It's interesting. I feel like there has to be some synth in there. Like, I know you can do some crazy stuff with distorted guitars, but that like layer right there, surely that's a synth, or like at least a sample that's been like filtered and effects put on it. So I'm not quite sure everything I'm hearing in that. And there was that one percussive layer which is almost sort of melodic at the same time, and I was wondering, like, is it a xylophone or is it like, again, sort of a percussive synth that sort of like sounds like a xylophone. So yeah, not quite sure all the elements that I'm hearing there, but really cool. And another track that indicates to me that you can remember a tune and you can sort of remember the broad strokes of a track, but then when you hear it again in this setting where I sort of force myself to think about a tune in the moment and try to articulate what I'm thinking, you can really come to a greater appreciation of a tune. So yeah, I've known that longer than any other Smiths track, but I did not know it in the sense that I now appreciate music until just now. So really cool tune. Yeah, lyrically, I'm not sure. It sounds like you know that the main, like I guess the chorus of it, the like, essentially saying like shut your mouth. You know, saying that I'm going about it the wrong way. I'm human, and I need to be loved just like everybody else does. So it sounds like maybe he's talking to the intimate or former intimate partner, or at least someone that he's trying to be close with. So yeah, I'm not quite sure if that's what it is, but that moment feels like it's a bit confrontational. It feels like it's sort of saying like, how dare you say that I'm not like, I'm not being delicate about this, or I'm not waiting to the right time for this, which, maybe how soon is now, maybe that sort of fits, but ultimately not quite sure what's happening lyrically, but sonically really cool. And as I said, a haunting kind of heavy sort of hectoring kind of tune. So yeah, it feels a bit outside their normal sound as I've heard it. Now again, there's some different flavors, different tempos that I've heard over the like 2.5 albums that I've gone through. But yeah, that one feels like a bit of an outlier sonically, which I enjoy. Like I really think that has a cool and again very haunting sound. So let me know what you think. I do apologize, Luca, but I know you're in the middle of grooming, but I do have to pick you up. So yeah, let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.